I'm going to start off with a quick highlight reel that's going to give you a quick overview of our Accenture Consumer Digital Payments Survey. So let's go with the video. So let me tell you a bit about what we dove into with this survey and the results from this 2016 effort. The survey itself is longitudinal. This was our fourth year conducting it, and we took 4,000 consumers and we were gauging interest, awareness, and adoption of digital payments. And what we were really trying to get at is, what is digital payments going to feel like in another 3 years? That was what we were trying to really zone in on, and here's what we found. First of all, I thought good news. For the first time, we're projecting a 7% decrease in use of cash by 2020. Hopefully fewer trips to the ATM, less pulling the cash out of our wallets. Next, we've hit that tipping point with regards to mobile payments. People know about it. We have reached what I think the most meaningful awareness threshold, certainly that we've seen in this study, but I know as many of you follow different efforts. If we think back just 2 or 3 years ago, there were some real challenges around awareness. I feel like we've gotten over that hump and we're in a really meaningful place now in terms of awareness. And more than a third of the respondents are reporting themselves as technology adopters. I think for many of us that have been studying this space for 15, even 20 years, I'm sure we can think back to where these numbers in terms of the number of technology adopters was quite small, very small. And 41%, I found this was amazing, 41% of the respondents are comfortable sharing their online bank credentials with a third party. And what does this say about the trust that is perhaps inherent today in the connected economy, the sharing economy, et cetera, that's been coming forward? 77% are checking their transactions and account balance at least weekly. We are more connected than ever with our financial lives. 66% define their banking relationship as purely transactional. So there's something here. We're more connected with our financial lives than ever. We're more mobilely aware, but we're defining our banking relationship as purely transactional. Certainly something to work on, and there's an opportunity in there. We're expecting a 50% increase in mobile wallet usage by 2020. It's clearly an asset to take advantage of. And 30% of millennials are interested in wearable payments, and those millennials are likely going to lead the way for us in the use of wearable payments out in the marketplace. And we believe we're going to see a 13% increase in consumers making purchases on their mobile phone. Or we've seen a 30% increase in purchase in-app on the mobile phone, which is, I think, remarkable, and I think it's fair to say that's going to continue to grow in a meaningful way. And then 48% are using a mobile payments app to pay other individuals. We've seen many great new businesses coming forward to support P2P, and the surveys demonstrating that that is true in the case. Now, this is where we get to what I would call the fourth quarter of the mobile payment Super Bowl 51. 0% increase in mobile payments users at the point of sale. What's going on here? What's going on here? This is, I think, well, to me, it was a surprising output from the survey, and it raises questions around what's happening in the consumer mindset. So we have some ideas. Why aren't consumers adopting mobile payments at the POS? Is it acceptance? No, it's not. Acceptance is there. The perception of acceptance is available. Acceptance is not the barrier. Is awareness? Not really that either. Privacy, a little bit more there, but still not terribly troubling. And then security, this is the one that in past years was the primary blocker in the consumer's mind. We were seeing 70%, 80% being security as the issue for why consumers weren't adopting mobile payments. So this is down precipitously from prior years. It's really lack of value, lack of view of value, perception of value on the behalf of the consumer. So it seems like doing mobile payments today is like playing Atari on an Xbox. So there's an opportunity, certainly in this zone, to address how can we bring and deliver value in the mobile payments experience to the consumer. And so we have some thoughts about that. And we think it's anyone's game to win from what the respondents were telling us. Then this question around who would be your preferred mobile payments provider, you can see it's very distributed across, it could be card providers, alternative payment providers, the banks, large tech companies, all are contenders to really take share, build a meaningful from a place of momentum in the mobile payments arena. And so we've been looking at this ecosystem, connected commerce, offers, loyalty, tickets, payments, IDs, online checkout, et cetera, around the mobile wallet. And I think, and I know I'm talking to an audience that's very involved in this whole zone. And we look at, say, what, of course, Google did with SoftCard, the acquisition of those assets. We can look at what Google did with Walgreens as perhaps instructive of how a value proposition can be brought into the mobile payments landscape. We see what Apple, of course, has been doing in terms of the use of biometrics in the iPhone. We can imagine a day soon where we're not going to need to remember all these lengthy passwords that we're having to change constantly, and that will be transformative in the value creation. We have our own Cardlytics here in Atlanta that's playing a meaningful role in providing some great examples in leadership in terms of providing value to this entire ecosystem. And then there's the question of the banks. And I feel like we're really at this inflection point in the role of the bank in this entire ecosystem, and it's this question of the bank, will the bank become more of the utility, the credit debit function, and primarily supporting that, or is the bank, there's an opportunity certainly for the bank to move into really being a key catalyst and driving the entire platform for commerce and making that real and making that come to life. So how do we go from this payments to connected commerce? We have 4 ideas that we've been working on within Accenture and with our clients. One is this: we need to design for these money mindsets. You got a little bit of those mindset ideas from the video that we were looking at. And when we designed these money mindsets, and we're bringing that into our design thinking process with clients as we're trying to think through how do we unlock and create that value proposition in the mobile payments experience. Think open. This is, I think we're getting some indication, certainly from our colleagues in the United Kingdom with the Payment Service Directive and the level of openness that that's driving. We've seen, I think, we have seen meaningful announcements in the last 6 months from the likes of Visa, MasterCard, Citi, in terms of APIs that they're making available to others, to all of us, to work with them to create value, to address this value equation. We need to collaborate and coordinate. This is not a winner-take-all type of environment. And I think many of us, although we may be competitors, but we can also be collaborators or are working to become collaborators in how to address this value equation. And then lastly, this question of build for scale, and what does that mean? And I think in my mind, as we've talked about it, is it a question of standards? You know, one of our favorite words is payments people. And is there a mag stripe equivalent for the delivery of loyalty and offers or delivery of value into that mobile payments experience? So these are the 4 sort of main efforts we've been starting to think about in getting us there. So I hope you've enjoyed or gotten a bit out of this. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me or colleagues as we continue on this journey to address this, because there's certainly meaningful opportunities to bring great value to our clients and customers in the marketplace. Thank you.